Hello there. So, today is going to be a bit of a different video from normal. I just sort of wanted to rant about something and felt like I might as well, just record it. Because I'll just talk to myself, but instead of talking to myself, I may as well make a little bit of a video there. So, apologies if I end up rambling and repeating a lot. Probably going to happen, because I do that. Alright, sorry, I had to cough. So I was just sort of thinking to myself just a couple of minutes ago, because I was seeing some things about Nijisanji and all the negativity and how the community's really gone downhill and all yada yada yada. And I was working through that sort of feeling of like, yeah, Nijisanji as a company is not necessarily the best. I've criticized them in the past, and I'll continue to criticize them as long as they keep doing things that I don't like. I think they've made some really good strides into positivity, but quite frankly, I need to talk a bit louder. Sorry, give me just a little bit of a moment. All right, sorry. I had to cough again. So, but again, it came to mind of like, if I as a VTuber wanted to be part of a company, like, as a male VTuber, there's not that many choices. It's not nothing, don't get me wrong, but essentially it's I mean, I was going to say V-shoujo is a possibility, but literally it's only Kuro currently, which isn't, again, that's not nothing. Like that says there is an opportunity there, but Kuro sort of had a unique position. He was actually good friends with Iron Mouse, from what I could recall, before he, everything happened. But it's basically just Hololive and Nijisanji. Or should I say, cover and color? Because it's not actually Hololive, now is it? It's Holo Stars. And that's a distinction that I think is important, because when it came down to it, in my mind, again, I feel like Nijisanji has some real good work to do, if we're being honest. And yeah, I really truly do feel that way. That they need to do their due diligence on some things that they need to improve. That's me using corporate speak, essentially, to say they need to do better. But at the end of the day, and I'm going to get, well, if anyone even watches this video, I'm going to get ragged on at this point that I'd still rather work for Nijisanji. I'd rather be in Nijisanji than Holo Stars. And I'll tell you why. It's because if I was in Nijisanji, I could at least work with my own coworkers and not need to constantly worry about harassment over that. That's not something that can be said of Hololive and Holo Stars. Now, I want to say the communities of Hololive and Holo Stars, they're both lovely communities. I like them. I like the fans. I like the people. I'm not as much into the Holo Stars community as some people are, but I feel like that's not atypical for a male VTuber who's, well, I'd say I'm mostly straight, but I mean, it's not really, that's not really the point. Straight people can watch people of the same gender. That's not the point of this. The point of this is essentially, again, if I actually wanted to play a game with one of my coworkers, someone working in Hololive, there would be backlash, immediate backlash. And I hate that. Don't get me wrong. There are those same weirdos in Nijisanji's community. I know that was part of the reason for graduation of Mr. and Mika was the constant harassment of them because of their interactions with each other. I know Kuro has mentioned that in the past he had been harassed for working with his female co-workers. So it's not like it's not a thing in that community, but I don't feel like it's nearly to the vitriolic state that Cover has as a company, covering, both Holostars and Hololive. You will see in Nijisanji EN, you will have covers between men and women, you will have collabs all the time with men and women. I mean, they interact all the time. Literally, some of the best interactions between their talents are between men and women. UQ Wilson and Millie Parfait come to mind as, like, such a good duo that is... I mean, we see... I believe we see the joke up front that, Willie is the tsundere sort of like, no, I don't really like her, and Millie is the not yandere, dere. I think that's what the term is. But basically, she wants him to like her, not romantically, but just like, cutesy little fun liking. She likes to tease him, essentially. So it's a fun dynamic. And again, I feel like we see that show. It's part of a bit that they do. Same thing with like Twisty and Vanta. If Twisty and Vanta actually were not comfortable with each other, these collabs would be ending way sooner. We would not be seeing them continuing on. I don't think there's a contractual obligation. There's no contractual obligation to just, to do that. And so I just, again, I feel like it's part of, I think, what Nijisanji even tried to do with, first with Luxium, because it had been an all-female cast up until that point. The first 10 livers of Nijisanji EN were all women. And then they introduced Luxium, and people were curious, what does that mean? Because, like, it had been an all-women cast, all women. So what exactly is this? And part of what I love about the hold on, I'm very coffee today, apparently, not sure why, but part of Nijisanji's whole strategy for debuts and things, in the beginning they were criticized a lot for having rushed debuts, a lot of them in a single year. Literally, they debuted 20 livers in the span of a year, starting with Lazulite, ending with Noctix. But something they did was they would have their own livers broadcasting the new arrivals. When Obsidia debuted, they had Lazulite. Hell, when Lazulite debuted, they had other Nijisanji people there making commentary on a different stream as a watch along of the debuts. It's internal support. And I think that's helped with that transition of having men and women in the same space, because the only people they could really get to cover the Luxium thing, and actually I'm going to need to almost double check this. Like, excuse my clicking around. Because I don't want to be factually incorrect. I didn't look this up earlier. So, hold on. Sorry, again, I'm sort of, okay, so they did actually have Oliver. And that's what I was thinking. That's literally the thought that came into my mind, was like, I know they had someone from EN, but I do feel like they either Bonnie, which I think Bonnevere was with Lazulite's debut, with damn it, I don't remember her name. It's son of a bitch. I love her too. Like, I actually like adore her. She's adorable and so funny, and I'm blanking on the name. That's not the point. The point is, so for Luxium's debut, that watch along on the main channel, the Nijisanji EN channel, was basically Elira and Oliver. So it was a woman from the previous debuts in EN, and Oliver from the different branch, but a man. And so I think that sort of helped with that transition by getting a little bit of a mixture of that culture. And then once they were actually able to collab and meet and all that sort of stuff, we had some lovely, lovely group interactions. If you have seen any of my stuff, you will know I was a big fan of Pomerane Puff. Big fan. Loved her. Still love her. If you don't know where she is now, she died in space and is now a ghost, sadly. Though her afterlife is been pretty fun so far. But that's not the point. The point is that her, Millie, and Luca formed a group during I believe it was a Valentine's something. Oh gosh, now I'm trying to I'm having to look up all of these things, all of these events that I don't remember exactly when or where they were. Like, was it on the main channel? I don't remember, because it would have been a long time ago. Okay, yeah. No, it was called Final Answer, the Nijisanji EN game show. It was streamed February 14th, 2022. So yes, exactly Valentine's Day. There was a bunch of men, women groupings, like literally every team had one man, including the hosts of the show. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun watching them. And again, Pomu, Luca, and Millie forming MLP is just great. And then they continued to do MLP collabs all the way through Pomu's graduation and all that. And I as a male VTuber, I mostly watch the female VTubers, the women. Not because, well, I don't even really know. It's probably a weird misogynistic thing. Like, I'd rather watch a woman do something than watch a man do something. I don't know. It's just a personal preference. But these women, these girls are so funny and so fun. And like, so are the guys, don't get me wrong, but like I would hate if I was in Hollow Stars to not be able to interact with Gigi Murin or Elizabeth or Callie or Mume or Fauna or any of them, because it wouldn't just be an attack on me, but they would be attacked. And I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that kind of thing. And I feel like that's a culture that is definitely it's detrimental to the entire scene. I really feel like it's just sort of a it's a relic of I'd say idol culture. You know, I know a lot of people blame that on idol culture. IDOL, by the way, not IDLE. Idol culture. That basically the women have to be pure, they can't be dating anyone, yada yada yada. But as we've seen with multiple VTubers, we can have them without that. I want to say it was Vebe. Sorry. Again, I'm very coffee today, so give me 1 second to clear my throat. I believe it was Vebe that basically came out and was like, look, you don't realize it, but a lot of your favorites actually have boyfriends behind the scenes. You don't know it, but they do. And like Nyanas and I think it's Sir Athelstan. I know Athelstan is the name, but I don't know if Sir or Count or like what his title is. But Nyanas and Athelstan had to basically like hide their relationship for a long time until it was kind of almost just like discovered. And then they finally were like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. We're together. So what? And then it wasn't really that big of a deal. And everyone eventually just kind of moved on and were like, oh yeah, that's Nyanas and Athelstan. They're dating or whatever. And now we have VTubers that have children. We have VTubers who are married. We have VTubers who are divorced. We have VTubers who, like, I mean, that's pretty much the broad spectrum of it. So, but that's the point. It's like, I would hate to have to not talk to. Oh my god. Oh man, that one was bad. Oh, something felt like something was climbing up my throat. Oh my. I don't even remember where I was talking. But basically, again, it's sort of this idea of purity culture. Don't let the men mix with the women. That as much as you can hate Nijisanji, you can hate the company. Hell, you can hate the talents. I'll fight you on that because I think the talents are all really good people. I know people think some of them are bullies or whatever, and I don't believe that. Having watched them all since debut, but again, you can dislike them and their company as much as you want, but at the end of the day, if I were to go to a company, I'd rather go to Nijisanji than to cover. I'd rather go to color than to cover, because at least then I could actually talk with my own co-workers without having to risk mine and their safety. And you may have your criticisms of the Nijisanji fan base. You may think that they're bigots, or you may think that they are excusing the company, or that you think that they are toxic and harmful and yada, yada, yada. But one thing you can't really say is that they hate their talents because they interact with other talents of the opposite gender. You're going to get some weirdos in there. You always do. But it's not the majority. It is not enough to actually stop things from happening. And I think that's good. That's a good thing. And again, as an actual, like, male VTuber, when considering my own prospects in the future, if I'd like to join a company, I'd like to join a company where I can work with all of my coworkers. I would hate to join a company that I couldn't even interact on Twitter without being just told I'm the worst person in the world. That to me is sort of what it comes down to. And again, that's just a purely, like, I'm a male VTuber. It is a business thing. I would not want to be hired by any company in the world, like, even just as not a VTuber, as a person. I would hate to be hired by a company that if I were to talk to another coworker who just happened to be female, that I'd suddenly get emails from random people around the world saying, hey, stop that. Only talk to your male coworkers. You're not allowed to talk to females. That would suck. That'd be awful. I'd hate to go into work at, what's a company? Google or Facebook or whatever, Amazon, and basically have to not talk to half of my coworkers. In the case of the Holo Stars, it's more than half. It's way more than half. And that's a shame. I feel like that's something that Nijisanji does right. And yeah, that's just sort of my rambling over explaining sort of rant on that. I don't do a lot of this stuff. This is literally the first video I've ever done where I'm just ranting off script or whatever, so I apologize if the quality is bad. It's probably very bad, actually. There's not going to be any editing on this one. There's not going to be any cuts or anything, so all those coughs were literally me just coughing. Any random blanks in voice, like this, that's literally because I have to cough, and so that's why there's just a couple seconds of silence there. So yeah, that's sort of, I just wanted to sort of go off on that, because I'll do that every now and again, where I'll just sort of, I don't know why, maybe I'm literally insane, but I will just, for some reason, go off on a rant, and it's not to anyone. I'm literally just in an empty room, talking to myself like I'm explaining it to someone else, because I'm a narcissist, and I apparently, even though I don't actually like the sound of my own voice, I like the sound of my own voice, apparently. Like, I like talking a bunch. I mean, hell, this is going to be like 25 minutes, and it's literally just, Hololive should be better about having men and women interact. That's really the point of the video. Anyway, you all take care, you lovelies. You sorry, I'm a bit too influenced by Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. I feel like if I just say Liz, that's a bit too familiar, Even just Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, maybe that's a bit too familiar as well. Miss Bloodflame. Miss Bloodflame. I'm a bit too influenced by Miss Bloodflame. That's literally the last couple of videos I've been wanting to say, "It's lovely to see you, lovely." And it's like, nope, that's not my thing. That's definitely not mine. I can't use that. But there's again a perfect example of like, I'd want to interact with her if I were in Hollow Stars, and I would not be able to, or at the very least, if I were able to, I would be harassed, and I don't like that. So again, yeah, that's just sort of this video, this rant, this rave. If you actually watched it, thank you. That's why. Leave a comment down below as to why you actually listen to this raving lunatic just talking your ear off about a single subject for 25 minutes. Hell, I don't even watch videos that talk for 25 minutes. That's a whole television show. So I'm going to cut that off right now. This went on way too long. I do not know why. Anyway. Yeah. Gonna end in like 20 seconds. So I'm gonna go to the ending screen. So you'll have a good one. I'll see you next time. Oh, I am still planning on uploading those other videos and things. Again, this one's not going to be edited, so it's just going to go out there raw immediately. Probably not going to... Oh, I honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't do any numbers, because, again, it's getting closer to 30 minutes. It's just me rambling, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, bye. Love you all. You'll take care. I heard there's quite some stuff going on in America right now, so just be safe. Don't do anything rash. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt others. Take care of yourselves. Make sure that you're okay. And if you're not okay, know that it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be hurt. And when you don't want to feel that way anymore, it's okay and good to stop. To say to yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. And, you know, do what you need to do to be better, to get better, to feel better. I love you all. Stay safe. Have a good one.